Good morning, everybody, and very warm welcome to this 14th edition of Asian Metallurgy. And we are just about to begin the inauguration session. And before that, I'll give a slight brief about Asian Metallurgy event. This is the 14th edition we are doing Asian Metallurgy. As you know, starting from metallurgy, I remember that metallurgy is called as mother of all industries. And any civilization has a very strong foundation of metallurgy. Unless and until it has a strong foundation of metallurgy, the civilization cannot survive and cannot grow. So same is the true with this era, and for our country also, and for various countries, the metallurgy and the steel and the metals remain a very strong foundation of economic growth. So, given that position of the metallurgical industry, this Asian Metallurgy Show, which is happening for the last 13 times, this is the 14th time, is a combination of expo and a series of webinars. As you know, this show was earlier a ground exhibition and a conference. We used to organize it in Nehru Center earlier in Mumbai, and then, of course, in BEC Goregaon. But after COVID, we transformed all our shows into digital format, and this is the annual show. Now we have from biannual show, we have made it an annual show, and now every year it happens in the month of December, and it comprises of a series of webinars, which is starting from today, and the digital expo, which is starting from 15th of December. So, with all this the background of the show, now let me again welcome you all to this 14th edition, and let me introduce the dignitaries we have. We have Mr. V.R. Sharma, Vice Chairman of Jindal Steel Limited. Thank you very much, Mr. Sharma, for joining us. He has just landed from somewhere and going to somewhere, but in between, he has made it convenient to join this inauguration session. Thank you very much, Mr. Sharma. Then we have Mr. Sushil Sharma, who is the present president of Institute of Indian Foundrymen. Thank you very much, Sushil ji, for joining this
Thank you.
event and this session. And we have Mr. L. Pugazanti, who is Executive Director of Indian Lead and Zinc Development Association, also past president of IIM, and always like Mr. Sharma and Mr. Sushil ji, always a supporter of Steelworld and Metal World activities. Thank you very much, Mr. Pugazanti, for being with us.
Welcome.
And we'll start this session, and I would first request Mr. Sushil Sharma to say a few words on this occasion. Mr. Sushil Sharma.
Thank you, Mr. Chandikar. Good morning, all of you. And I'm happy to see that Mr. V.R. Sharma has landed from somewhere and going somewhere. So you're having a regular flights. So we hope that the normalcy is getting achieved by Indigo or whatever other airlines. It has been a very tough time for the last couple of days for a lot many people. I would like to just share that my son's wedding was there and we had a really tough time for our guest during the last 1 week. Anyway, coming to the topic of 14th Asian Metallurgy. See, Indian foundry industry, my perspective is from the Indian foundry industry, and Indian foundry industry has been growing a lot for the last 1 decade, and we look forward to a great future of the Indian foundry industry in coming years. We all know that China is number 1, India is number 2, but with a lot of difference. But still, China policy
Sushilji, your voice is breaking, Sushilji.
My voice is.
Yeah,
Hello.
voice is breaking. Yeah, now a little better, but voice is breaking.
Am I audible to Mr. Chandikar and Mr. Lakshman?
Yes.
Yeah, now it
yes,
is okay. Continue, sir.
Now it is okay.
Now it's okay. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe some internet
Yeah.
Wi-Fi issue. Yeah. So now basically the Indian foundry industry need to get up with the casting bar requirement worldwide, with the CBAM restrictions coming over shortly, the casting bars will definitely have regulations being implemented to the casting suppliers, and we are sure the Indian foundry industry will definitely come to that requirement. The demand has been there in the mining sector, the windmill sectors. Few of our clients in the windmill sector and mining sector have been doing great. And in fact, they are not able to cope up with the demand of the customers. The recent tariff imposition by the President Trump has definitely created a lot of hurdles for the Indian foundry industry. But we are sure that we all know the solution for the Indian casting is not that easy for the casting buyers in America. And definitely, the American buyers need to either accept those tariffs imposed by the President Trump, or otherwise, they will have to think of an alternative. But within a short span of time, it will be very difficult for American casting buyers to have that kind of alternative. As we all know, the other casting producing country is Turkey. But China being the cheapest, India being costlier as compared to China, and Turkey casting producers are definitely more costlier than the Indian casting producers. We all know Turkey is known as China of Europe. But today, most of the casting buyers worldwide are targeting Indian casting producers for their requirements. And it's not going to be the automotive sector, but all other sectors, including railways, windmills, heavy engineering, and mining sectors. The casting producers of Indian foundry industry will definitely be looking for a brighter future ahead. The manpower of Indian foundry industry has been one of the most critical factor because of the cheap labor. But today we all need to really look for and see that the skilled manpower of Indian foundry industry is also getting more and more technically suitable to the requirements of the Indian foundry industry. A lot of training programs need to be conducted, and definitely at IF we are doing such kind of all exercise and projects to see that the shop floor people are getting trained, getting more skills to achieve the requirements of the Indian foundries. With these words, I congratulate the 14th Asian Metallurgy and the organizers of this webinar and the Digital Expo a great success. And I'm sure such kind of events will definitely help the foundry industry in general and the other industries also. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sharma. And yes, foundry industry is growing. I have one or two questions, but I will like to ask them questions after all the dignitaries have their, delivered their speech. So if you don't mind, I'll ask one or two questions to all
Sure,
of
sure.
you
No,
after
no problem.
you all of you finish.
No problem.
Now I would request Mr. L. Pugazanti to say a few words on this occasion. Mr. L. Pugazanti, please.
Thank you, Chandekar Saab. So nice to see my esteemed friends V.R. Sharmaji and Sushil Sharmaji here. And that shows the passion that we all have for metals and materials. As Chandekar said, minerals and materials are prehistoric. The ancient civilization started with iron and bronze, and then you had your Iron Age and Bronze Age, etc. But metals and mills have not stayed there only. It has now become a part of any economy, developed or developing, or LDC countries, least developing countries. Minerals and materials are the backbone of any economy, and today we find the world is talking about very exotic, exciting subjects, critical minerals for future, for energy transition. We're also talking about advanced materials for many other new applications like energy storage, etc. In fact, I was there in Hyderabad last week attending the 79th annual technical meeting of the Indians of Materials at IIT Hyderabad. 1,800 delegates, and all of them were hearing various experts, international and Indian experts, on critical minerals, the pathways, the future roadmap. Because we're all strong in iron, steel, and aluminum, and copper, lead, and zinc. But the critical minerals, it takes some time uh, to immediately look for sourcing these critical minerals. And even Government of India, Ministry of Mines has asked National Mineral Development Corporation and Hindustan Copper to go looking for critical minerals in countries like Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Nigeria, etc., and to joint ventures, and then see how technology or materials can be brought to India in a quick span of time. And uh, today, if you talk about electric vehicles, after the Paris round in 2015, the world is talking about electric vehicles, and many of them are lithium powered. And how many countries have lithium as a natural resource? And you know, recycle lithium also in a big way. So plenty of recycled lead in the many countries, recycled lead, for instance, for lead batteries in many countries. But lithium is a new material we are going to use in various types of lithium-ion batteries, and they have a longer shelf life, 6-7 years. Then they will be available for recycling. That's the way the future is going to be. But in the interim period, transition period, we are mostly importing lithium cell from China, and some players in India like Amararaja Batteries, Exide Industries, they already announced that they're going to put up plant for lithium-ion batteries. And even for recycling of lithium batteries, there are companies like Atero Recycling here at Delhi and Rubamin in Baroda, etc. They are mainly recycling currently imported lithium-ion batteries. Maybe future they will be recycling domestically generated lithium-ion batteries. Coming to your event, Tandekar Sam, I really admire you that you have been doing this consistently all these decades. Even after COVID, probably you're having webinar-based events. And this event is really very interesting because you are focusing not only on foundry, auto sector, sponge iron, aluminum, stainless steel, lead and zinc, and there are some corporate presentations, I understand. And then AI and digitalization. You're covering all these areas. Of all these areas, two areas are very, very interesting, and they have to be attended by many youngsters, students also. Decarbonization is one, and recycling is the other. These are a highly futuristic subject, and particularly recycling. Let me tell you, our country has been recycling material for a long time. Lead batteries, for instance, zinc draws, zinc ash, all of them we are recycling. But unfortunate part, I understand even in the electronic sector, I'm hearing now, in India, most of them are in the informal sector, very unhygienic, very unhealthy, polluting the atmosphere, affecting the workers on the shop floor, and then the lead containing particles and others, lead dust, etc., getting into the air. So this is something very disappointing. We have regulatory bodies, we have Ministry of Environment, Forest, CPCB, State Pollution Control Board, etc. I think it's time now to pull up our socks and to see that this informal sector, they can always upgrade. We are not asking them to close them. Let them upgrade, get rotary furnaces, refining kettles. Let them organize in a better way, go for higher recoveries, etc. That's all we are telling. I've been telling the government, ministry, CPCB, etc. But they seem to be taking some action, but not very forcefully or strictly. In the meantime, industry should also display its voluntary initiative. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right way? They should also do some introspection and try to do it in a better way, more energy efficient way, or higher recoveries, etc. And that's how India should progress in the next few years, not long term, but immediately we should gear up for this kind of formal, organized recycling in a big way. Decarbonization, we are talking about net zero, carbon free, etc. There, I think we've got plenty of work to do. A lot of investments are flowing, but then we have to show many results on the ground. And with these remarks, Conductor Sir, I would like to restrain myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Pugasanti, and always very insightful speech from your side. Lot of materials are now getting in the fold of metallurgy, like lot of these rare earth mineral metals and all
Yeah.
that they are finding new applications in the coming days. So I think we have to also expand our activities to those minerals and metals. And before now, I would request Mr. V.R. Sharma. Sir, yes.
Yes, good morning, friends. Good morning, my dear friend, Mr. Pog, Sushilji, and Chandekarji, everybody, all distinguished guests, those who are listening. It's a great time, as Sushilji told, that China is doing a lot of steel. They are making about a billion ton, and they are not reducing. India, yes, we are also aiming to reach to 300 million ton by maybe 2030 or 2032.
Hmm.
Though the journey is very difficult. But one, looking to the steel and metallurgy, and also looking to the development and the niche markets available for the steel mills and the other metallurgical plants. My focus will be what I'll suggest to the industry, that please don't get disturbed that somebody is putting 25 million ton of plant, somebody is putting 10 million ton steel plant, somebody is putting 50 million ton steel plant, and somebody wants to make it a greenfield project of 10 to 15 million ton, and so on and so on. There is a ample opportunity available for the niche markets, small steel industries, wherein we all can contribute in the growth of the nation, also within the country and for the exports. Now, the point here is most of the large steel mills, they are unable to supply uh, specialty steel to the industry because of the minimum order quantity. Because their blast furnaces are bigger size, their ladle size is 200 to 300 tons per ladle per heat. Their electric arc furnaces are about 200 to 250 tons per heat. So they are unable to service the industry, and this is the reason Government of India is looking very aggressively to open to open the duty-free imports of steel, specialty steel products in times to come. So this means there is a great opportunity for the small and medium-sized industries, those who can produce steel to the tune of about 100,000 tons per year to 300,000 tons per year. Normally, people say when we speak 300,000 ton steel per year, say 3 lakh ton per year, people say it is a mini steel plant.
Yeah.
Is by yes, by size, it is a mini steel plant, but this is a highly value engineered and value added steel plant. So my suggestion to the metallurgical consultants, the researchers, uh, the people, those who are in this particular industry, the industrialists, the technocrats, that we should try to focus on producing the steel required for the niche markets, which is highly value-added grade steel. So either it can be through the electric arc furnaces or can be through even induction furnaces. There is no harm in making steel through induction furnaces, because this is a specialty steel. I visited China about 4 months back, and I visited a such company where the capacity is only 300,000 tons, and they have more than 20 small induction furnaces, and they have the complete value chain, how to produce those small components and also how to produce the right size and right quantity and right grade of castings. So when I saw that plant, I found that in a country where the steel is produced in masses, in the ton is the total quantity is about 952,000 million tons, say close to 1 billion ton. So there are industries, those who are existing, having capacity of 200,000 tons per year to 300,000 tons. So my suggestion to the industry is that we should focus, India must focus on small scale or say medium scale steel plants. And these plants can be dozens of plants. These are required to be installed or to be brought in the country so that we can meet out the demand of auto sector. We can meet out the demand of heavy engineering companies in terms of components. We can meet out the demand of defense sector, and we can meet out the demand of wind energy sector. I visited a company in Germany, and when I asked them, a similar company having capacity about 300 to 350,000 tons per year, when I asked them that who are your customers, I was shocked. They told that 50% of the market is India. So that means 150,000 tons small components, small parts, casting parts, as well as the specialty steel components. They are manufacturing in Germany and near Duisburg, and they are exporting to India. Whereas in India, we always feel that we'll be making something and we'll be exporting to the countries like in Europe or somewhere or in America. So I think the market do exist at least for about 2 million ton of small steel and micro steel plants, those who can produce steel through the induction furnaces or the small mini arc furnaces. That is only 20 ton of electric arc furnace. You don't need to put up a 50 ton or 100 ton of electric arc furnace. So a 20 ton of electric arc furnace is induction furnace of right from 2 ton to 20 ton. 20 ton is, though it is too big for the induction furnace, but 2 ton, even 500 kg induction furnaces are better. I mean, these products are produced worldwide, and India is also importing, the world is also importing, because they are the niche markets. The major steel players, they are not focused on such kind of markets. They just leave it away. And most of the inquiries, they are not responded by steel mills, or the steel mills, they ask the big quantities. Oh, you want 5 tons? Sorry, we can't give 5 ton. You give us an order for 200 tons. So how a small company can place an order for 200 tons? So that means for 40 months or 50 months of requirement. So this is the reason the major steel mills are out of this market. So my suggestion to the all of the metallurgists, those who are listening to my message, my sincere request to them, please start thinking on putting up the micro and small industries, MSMEs, or say a medium scale industry to produce specialty products, specialty steel. The next point is CBAM. Yes, CBAM is definitely a talk of the world, but for the value-added steel, CBAM doesn't matter. Why? Because value-added steel, in terms of components or in terms of specialty steel, that still goes at a level about $900 or $1,000 per ton. Steel prices in America are about $1,000 for the ordinary steel, that is for the hot rolled coils today, that is for the short ton. And if we supply them the specialty micro allied steel in smaller lots, then definitely the industry can get about 1,200 to $1,300 a ton, which will take care of the tariffs imposed by President Trump in past. We do not know what is going to happen in future. I think the things will settle in the better interest of India. So similarly, when we speak on CBAM, that is for Europe. So today, the European industry has made up their mind that CBAM is coming, and they are also made up their mind that we will bear. We means the importer will bear the cost of CBAM. That may be $70 or $80 or maybe $90. At the moment, it is $50 to $60 for Jan to June, and it may reach to a level about $70 to $80 or equivalent about €60 in times to come. So nothing to worry about. CBAM is the effect of CBAM will not be on value engineered and value added products, and this will be definitely impacting the commodities like hot rolled coils or long products or structures or beams or even plates. But this will not impact the small scale industries, medium scale industries, and the people those who are engaged in producing steel through the value engineered and value addition route. So side by side, we have to see that how can we reduce our overall CO2 footprint, and slowly, gradually, we must try to reduce the CO2 level. And if we can bring it down to a level about 1 ton of CO2 per ton of steel making, that will be the super fine achievement. And this is not too far away through induction furnaces and also through electric arc furnaces, and with the scrap route as well as through a virgin metal route like pig iron, through the blast furnaces, we can achieve about 1 ton of CO2 per ton of steel making. And once you do it, then the levies are hardly 5 to 10 euro per ton. If you can bring it down to about 800 kg per ton, or per 800 kg of CO2 generation per ton of steel making, then the duties are zero. So this is going to be a big achievement by the Indian steel industry if we start doing it. The Indian steel industry is now having abundant solar power as well as wind power. So the steel industry should make a tie-up with the wind energy suppliers as well as the solar energy suppliers, so that their green energy comes into picture. And the induction furnaces as well as electric arc furnaces, they are run through the renewable energy, which has zero CO2 generation, because this is through the natural resources. So whether it is wind, hydro, or solar. So overall, I feel if it is a scrap route with little bit of pig iron to maintain the carbon percentage, then we can definitely achieve about 600 kg of CO2 per ton of steel, and through the scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, all three scope together. So that means we become the most energetic and most efficient company in terms of reduction of CO2 through our induction furnaces and electric arc furnaces route. And we can definitely produce value added products through the value engineered exercise. So these two points we have to always mention and maintain the right balance in between value engineering and value addition. When we do the value engineering, we find different ways that how to produce a particular grade of steel through our approach of value engineering, and how can we get more realization in terms of getting value addition, which gives a benefit win-win situation to the customer as well as to the supplier. And this 300 million ton of target what government of India has taken, steel industry has also taken. There are some big challenges in terms of logistics, in terms of infra, in terms of iron ore availability, in terms of coking coal availability. These are the issues which industry is facing. But I think the metallurgical engineers, those who are engaged in castings, those who are engaged in foundry, those who are engaged in specialty components, they should not worry about it. The growth is exponential as of now. The hot rolled coils are in surplus supplies in India, and so are the long products. Unless more and more projects are declared in the country, the situation is not likely to be improved. So that's all from my side. In case of any question, I'm available on phone. You may connect me. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Thank you very much, Sharma Saab, for your insightful speech. Coming to the end of this session, I have one or two questions for everybody. I mean, see, now the geopolitics is, is very dynamic, and a lot of changes are happening in geopolitics with Mr. Trump imposing high tariffs on India, Mr. Putin visiting India and rebuilding the economic ties. So, what will be the effect on the metallurgical industry of all these geopolitics happening in the world? I would start with Mr. Sushil Sharma. What will be the exact impact on foundry industry?
See, you have got a very good question, Mr. Chandrakar. See, these geopolitical challenges are really very unpredictable, in my opinion. See, every country is trying to see the benefit for their own industry.
Yes.
right? Trump is imposing the tariffs because he wants that the American industry should survive and grow. But the way Mr. Trump has been trying to impose these tariffs, he is not able to understand that basically it is taxing on the Americans itself,
Yes.
right? They don't have, see, the infrastructure today, America doesn't produce anything of their own. Everything they try to import, either from China, India, or maybe other countries. Even a small tissue paper they are importing from different countries. They don't produce of their own. So basically, when you are trying to impose tariffs to have a make in America concept, just like make in India concept, you are trying to impose taxation and tariffs to your own country. So, but the kind of sanctions being put in for the countries like Iran, Russia. Now, Indian government was so much dependent on the for the crude oil for Russia, but the kind of sanctions which has been put up has definitely played a major role for the Indian industry also. So it is slightly difficult because Indian government relations with Russia are always good, but Indian government has been putting up good relations with the US government also. So in my opinion, these geopolitical situations will keep on changing, will keep on having plus minuses in future also. And after all, maybe because it has started couple of months back, it will settle down in coming few months. And because every country will have to finally find out a solution for their own industry. When the supplies were stopped to the American industry, like automobile industry, a lot of Indian foundries were exporting to America. American buyers, the dealers and distributors, basically they were having sufficient stock for a couple of months. Now those stocks have been getting over, and finally they have started accepting those tariffs in certain cases. What we understand, particularly from the Indian foundry industry. So I personally feel that these acceptance of tariffs is putting up again pressure on the American buyers only, and it will be definitely a challenge for the America. So these situations will keep on changing in next few months also, and maybe in next 6 months time, we will be able to have some kind of settlement in the industry with the different geopolitical situations. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Will Indian foundry industry find new buyers if
See,
America
all
is
the Indian,
closed?
yeah, in fact, when these challenges were there, Indian foundries has started looking for the new markets, and most of the foundries or the big foundries have been able to have a good market development for. See, every challenge you have to always look for the new opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good thing that maybe tomorrow, if there is some good news coming from the American buyers, but in this process, Indian foundry industry will definitely develop a new market also for themselves. So in this situation, definitely it will be good win-win situation for the Indian foundry industry.
Yeah, maybe it will serve as a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Sharma. I will go to Mr. Pugasanti. Sir, what is
Yeah.
your opinion? How this recent geopolitics will influence the Indian metallurgical industry, especially the non-ferrous one?
Yeah. Chandekar sir, this 30 years back, countries had very high import duties, trade restrictions, etc. Then the world started talking about free trade. Then you had WTO and GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, etc., GATT. So that's how the world started moving. And many countries also brought reforms in their custom duties and other charges, etc. And we had gone down. India had reduced the duties to very low levels, 5%, 10%, etc. And that's the way the world was moving. And suddenly, because the US economy is having serious financial problems, employment, many things are there in that country. And just because he is having problem, he took the world back, at least back to 30 years back, imposing high duties,
Yeah,
etc.,
yeah.
which was ridiculous. And it's a trade war. It's not a third world war. It's a trade war that he started. And
Hmm.
who is it going to affect really? India is not largely export dependent. Let me tell you, for any metal product, whether it's galvanized steel or die cast components or lead batteries or lead, recycled zinc, etc., they are largely consumed within the country. There is some amount of export, GPGC sheet, galvanized plain, galvanized corrugated sheets, and maybe some kind of galvanized pipes, etc. But let me tell you, most of the our productions are all domestically consumed, 85%. And then we are exporting quite a bit to Europe, Southeast Asia, Middle East, etc. So US imposing high duty is not going to be of any consequence to India. And in fact, as Sushil ji said, it is going to affect the consumers. Duties, whichever country they are paying, that's going to be recovered from the importing country, and the sellers in those countries are going to carry on that burden and pass on the burden to the consumers, the buyers in you, and they will be bearing the brunt of the, the trade restriction. That's very strange that this man is doing, and he gets into all kinds of illogical thinking. I think US is short of leadership today. You don't have good leaders to lead that country, and they are really going mad after. He's fighting with Canada. He's fighting with the European Union. He's fighting with Venezuela. And of course, suddenly, just because Putin landed day before yesterday, Trump says India is our great friend. Just see what all is happening. This crazy guy, and let's not bother about him or US economy. You really pity the US citizens rather. And India is going strong. Today, we are number one as far as GDP is concerned. China slowly slowed down. The last quarter, the GDP was
8.3.
8.2%.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Which country? Japan is talking about 1%, and UK is talking about 0.5 GDP. And where are we standing? Where are those countries? Let's not bother
Yeah.
about those countries. Our thrust on infrastructure, construction, manufacturing will take us by leaps and bounds. And metallurgical industry or metallurgical community, we're really not bothered. We got enough work to do at home to
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
us engaged, and our wheels will continue moving. Nothing to stop, not to worry.
Thank you. Yeah. You want to say something more, sir?
And that's all I finished. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And Mr. Sharma, Mr. VR Sharma, are you there?
Yes, I am there. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
please.
please. Sir,
You thank.
I was asking what effect this geopolitics will have on Indian industry, especially
It's
the
a good
steel
effect.
industry.
Geopolitical is a blessing for India. Sorry to say, because I should not use this word. But
हाँ
whatever happened in last
सर
four
आपका
five
वीडियो
years,
ऑन कीजिए ना वीडियो ऑन कीजिए
आज वीडियो ऑन करता हूँ. तो
हाँ हाँ
so the now okay.
यस यस ऑफ कोर्स
Yeah, yeah.
प्लीज
Okay, okay.
Geopolitical situation has given a big boost to the Indian economy. We are seeing that how the GDP growth is there,
या
and hopefully, God willing, I think this the moment the Ukraine and Russian war this will end, then I think we'll get good opportunity to supply steel components, parts, whatever is required, either by the defense industry in Russia or the defense industry in Ukraine, and for the reconstruction of Ukraine. So, because the steel mills in Europe, they are facing a deep trouble in terms of electricity prices. Their electricity prices today is about 100 euro to 120 euro per megawatt hour. That means about 10 to 12 euro cent. That means about so there's a huge cost. So they are sometimes two times or three times of our Indian energy cost. This is one area. The second is we are still at a level about 5 rupees to 6 rupees per kilowatt hour per ton per unit, and as a maximum 7 rupees, I would say, in some of the some part of the country. But otherwise, average the steel the industry is getting energy at a price about 5 rupees to 5 rupees 50 paisa per unit per kWh. So we have an edge in terms of costing, pricing, and the moment the war ends or the war stops, there'll be a big boost to the steel components exports to the Europe as well as to Russia. And simultaneously, government of India is working very strongly to increase the defense budget in the country. Defense budget means just not to buying the arms, but yes, to build the ships here, to warships here, submarines here, the merchant ships here, and also the gas and oil containers, gas and oil vessels to build in the country. I mean, this is going to boost the steel consumption as well as the component consumption in the country, and also not only for the major steel plants, but also for the foundry, for the castings, and for anybody who is in the steel business. So this is my view. The geopolitical situation is not harming India, so we could control our oil prices, whether diesel prices or the petrol prices. We are much lower than the prices existing in Europe. Europe is about 130 to 140 rupees in terms of rupee term per liter. We are still at in double digit, maybe 90 rupees, 95 rupees, and maybe in few states it is 100 rupees. So we are gaining, and these last 3 years had been very good for the country, and I'm sure in times to come that will also be better for our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. And it has been a very interesting speeches from all of you and very interesting insights about the effect of geopolitics on the Indian metallurgical industry. I would like to thank all of you, Mr. V.R. Sharma, Mr. Sushil Sharma, and Mr. L. Pugazanti, for being with us in this inauguration session of 14th Asian Metallurgy. And for readers, I would for the watchers of this session, I would like to say, watch out for the coming very interesting sessions, very interesting webinars on different aspects of metallurgy. Thanks once again to all the dignitaries and those who have joined us to watch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chandekar Sab. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Sharma ji,
Thank you,
Sushil ji.
Sushil ji.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Sharma
Good
ji.
day.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.
Good.
Bye-bye.